He sent me a notice saying he'd be a little late and would I be willing to host it at the beginning or until he gets here. So welcome to the November 1st, 2022 session of TangerineSDR and Hamside technical session. My name is Dave, KV0S. And this week, I did get Scotty's schematics posted on the TangerineSDR website. So if you want to look through the schematics for the clock module, the DE adapter, and the RF module, those are now on the individual pages for those projects as schematics, and they're also the PDFs of both sides of the board available there, so you can see where parts were put. So that's up now. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go on down the list. So next on the list is Bill, AB4EJ. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Busy week. I've been helping my wife recover from knee replacement surgery, so
Ooh.
my time has been kind of limited. But she's on the mend. She's on the mend. Met with the students working on the Space Weather Station project, and they're making progress on a piece of code which will, as you know, it's possible to upload observations, particularly coming from spectrum data, grape or tangerine, that could become enormous. And so they have developed some code that is able to give you a range of dates to download, and it will limit you so that you don't request enough that would put the server to sleep. I think you can you can request a maximum of a week of it at a time, and I'm thinking that might even be too much, but we're going to try it and see how well it works. But they got that code working, and the next thing they're going to do is work on code. We're going to do it like SatNogs. If anybody's familiar with that. The users upload satellite data, and the server in the background provides a waterfall, which you can then look at, and audio data you can listen to. I think we're probably going to have something like that, as uploads occur, we'll do it a day at a time and associate a waterfall plot in the case of a spectrum analysis of spectrum data, or in the case of magnetometer data, just a plot a day at a time, and those will be associated with an observation, and you pick what day you want to look at, something like that. And we're looking at also a technique for sonification of this data, so you can listen to what it sounds like, and there's very cool stuff that some folks from MIT have done with this that we think we can take some tips from, where you can visualize the data in your head by listening to it, which sometimes gives you some clues that you don't necessarily see when you look at the waterfall. So we're working on that. So back to net.
Sounds very good. Look forward to using that. Next on the list is Dan, M4XWE. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, thank you, Dave, and good evening, everybody. I saw a video on YouTube a couple of days ago that Christopher Barnett did. He has the Explaining Computers website, and it was a new single board computer with a rock chip on it. But that wasn't the point. The point is, I think that we're going to have a hard time getting Raspberry Pis for the next year, or maybe even two. I mean, they seem to be very much unobtainium these days. And I think that the road that we've gone down so far has been a little bit high concentric. Wouldn't really have to be, except I think that's what we thought would be the easiest to get and the cheapest and the best one to use. So I guess what I'm advancing here is that we may need to think about using another single board computer. I don't see that as being a big problem because Bill is using Ubuntu Mate, and that works on a lot of different platforms. So we may have a lot of options when it comes to hardware, single board computer hardware. But anyway, that's kind of my thought on the subject, and I like to kind of plant the seed in everybody's brain to be on the lookout for new and exciting single board computers if and when they come around. Back to you, Dave.
I will remind everybody that we started this project talking about using Odroid N2s, and I just happened to buy an N2 Plus, which just has more memory, and they, have the GPIO pins. They have a very stable, small footprint, about twice the cost of what Pi's are or were. So just,
Yes, that's true. And
but they are available.
yeah, and I haven't, well, I don't know if the N2 Plus is available anymore.
Well, I ordered one a week ago and got it.
Okay, well, good.
So,
I have one. I have an N2. And in fact, I used it a couple of days ago.
yep.
The only issue with that one is it really doesn't support Ubuntu 22.04. It only supports up to 20.04.
20.04. That's
Yeah,
correct.
so that might be a little bit of an issue, but the N2 Plus does support 22.04, I
Okay.
believe.
I
Not sure about that, but I think it does.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. Just thought I'd mention that.
I've had a problem with the Odroid N2. The video driver chip on both of mine died. So
Okay.
you can connect into it remotely, but you can't connect it to a terminal.
Okay.
The monitor doesn't work anymore on either of them.
Okay.
I did have problems with the power supply on mine. I had to replace that. That died fairly early on, but it was I don't know, like a $30 deal.
Yep. Well, I just thought I'd mention that. The one I have right now seems to be working. So, yep. Yes. You're fade out into your background. Yes.
Say again?
Bill was showing his
Oh,
Odroid.
oh.
Okay, next on the list is Mike, AAAK. Mike?
Dave's not here, man. Greetings to everyone listening. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you for the sense of humor. Next on the list is David McGaw, N1HAC. Go ahead, David.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a busy week working on other projects, but I did get the development kit components and the new magnetometer components, and hope get to the magnetometer and put that together and give some feedback on that.
Very good.
And curious where we are with code on the development kit situation. Is there anything
Well,
we can run anytime soon?
Tom is coming later and he's
Right.
the one taking the lead, so I'll let him report on that.
Right. So I just wanted to put that out. Yeah, we're moving along. I'm happy to have some hardware to work with. So I guess back to net.
Okay, fine business. And next on the list is David Waugh, KEAQEP. Go ahead, David.
Okay, well, it's good to see everyone again. I realize it's been a while. I still have interest in the project. Obviously, I haven't been here for a while. I'm still young and a new ham, and I ended up, you like in high school, you start running with a new crowd, and next thing you know, I get into VHF weak signal work, and so, but I'm working on recovering from that. Back to net.
Well, we all have our adventures in different components of the hobbies. So next on the list is Dylan, KN6 VW. Go ahead. VW, sorry. IVW, sorry.
Yeah, I'm Ivy. It appears. So nothing really, except for the fact that last week you guys were talking to me about the whole science stuff, and I didn't quite understand the question that you guys were asking me. So I thought about that a little more and did a little research, and I'm not really sure if it's something that is really interesting or something that would really be like pull a lot of information from that you can use for stuff. But I was thinking about using two of the grapes, one for a general receiving a spectrum receiver, how it's designed, and then one for a directional receiver, so you can look at certain parts of the sky and see where certain parts of the general receiver like line up the frequencies to see where certain parts of the interference is coming from. And I was kind of curious if that would be something along those lines that you guys were talking about last week. But other than that, I don't have anything else, so I will send it back to the control.
Okay, well, this is citizen science project, and I just wanted to remind you of that. And then we're trying to make it where pretty much any ham could participate if they wanted to and learn something about what's possible. The grape will make a nice receiver at specific frequencies, but it is not a general coverage receiver. It picks up all the frequency spans where WWV transmits, and it's purpose built for that, which is 5, 10, 15, I don't know, 20 kilohertz. So something like that. So just to let you know about that. Next on the list is Gary, AF8A. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. We're experiencing a lot of, I guess you could call it summer-like conditions here in Ohio. We've had a lot of upper 60s and low 70-degree weather here late in October, and it's been difficult to spend time in the shack or in the workshop as a result. Anyhow, I'm still trying to plow ahead with some questions on the solar eclipse QSO party rules and whatnot. Finding that it's a challenge when you try to include a lot of different modes, digital and sideband and phone, and have a consistent exchange and reporting structure for all of them. But we'll work through it. We've got till October of next year, and we'll make it through. So that's it for now, Dave. Back to you.
Okay, fine business. And next on the list is Hyomin Kim. Go ahead, Hyomin.
Hi everyone. Not so much to report as well this week. Yeah, I've been pretty busy with all this like Antarctic project and other magnetic field analysis and stuff. But other than that, I don't really have direct update on this. One thing that I like to bring up here is whether the paper that we were supposed to be working on, I don't know if Jules and Dave Witten are working on this, but they're not here today. So
Okay.
I'll get back to this matter later with Nathaniel. So back to the
Well, I can pass on a message to Dave Witten because I see him weekly.
Oh, okay.
So-
That'll be great.
I'll talk to him and see
Okay.
his intentions. This is not a good night because some people are with children or grandchildren or
Yeah.
other activities.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
And in fact, I think our leader is doing such things.
Mhm.
So next on the list is James, KG4 DSG. Go ahead, James.
Evening, Dave and the group. Just trying to dodge the raindrops around here and not much else going on. I just was informed today I've got vacation to burn by the end of the year, so I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to take it. I use it or lose it. So back to the net.
Yep, you must be getting the rain we had a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see. I'm trying to make sure I didn't skip anybody. So next on the list is Joe, W7LUX. Go ahead, Joe.
Good evening, everyone. Been fairly quiet here grape-wise. I've had some decreases in signal strength, which I haven't correlated with anything else, trying to figure that out. But other than that, been fairly quiet, and we're expecting our first snow Thursday. So welcome to a winter wonderland here. Thanks, Dave.
Very good. It should look nice on the pine. Next on the list is Jonathan Rizzo, KC3EEY. Go ahead, Jonathan. Is Jonathan there? Well, I don't hear Jonathan, so I'll go on to the next. So next on the list is Tom in N5EG. Tom?
Oh,
I can hear you, Tom. There you go.
yeah, the buttons didn't seem to want to click. My internet died again. My Starlink is gone again. So I'm
Okay.
at the neighbor's house using their Wi-Fi. The tech support is sending me out unit number 3 of the indoor modem, unit number 3 of the cable, and I don't expect that to fix the problem. They won't send me the dish, and it appears, in my view, that's the problem, since it works when it's hot outside and it doesn't work when it's cool outside. So would seem to be a pretty strong indicator.
Yes.
This week, I got the I2C working on the receiver module, so I can send a LHDE protocol packet on the provisioning channel on the GigE using the module write command. Then I can toggle the green and red LED and the 6 relays on the receiver on and off using those commands. So that's a pretty good sign. I've had to learn a lot about Verilog, a lot about QSys, and I think I finally understand how all that ties together now. So that's a good sign. I've been looking at the clock module and the I2C on it, and I think I've come up against a major on the clock module. I need to talk to Scotty about it. So there's lots to do there. So all in all, a down week with bad internet and an up week with getting the I2C to talk from the development kit out to the receiver module. So a little bit of stuff starting to come alive. The code is on my GitHub, github/Tom-McDermott, and you'll find the code there for tapper-dev and tapper-util. It only makes sense to one person on the planet right now, but maybe that'll get better with time. So back to the group.
Yes, and Tom, I wanted to let you know, I posted the schematics on the Tangerine website.
Good.
I mentioned that before you got on.
Okay. Does
So
anyone know if Scotty's coming on tonight? I have a notebook full of questions.
I haven't seen him or heard from
Okay.
him. So,
What was the GitHub again, Tom? Sorry.
Okay, it's github.com/ capital T lowercase o-m hyphen capital M lowercase c capital D lowercase ERMOTT.
Very
and
good. Thank you.
if you
And
also
you'll see the Tapper projects there.
if you also do GitHub and then Tom's call sign, it will come up in your search list. So just for information. The other thing I wanted to mention is that code is not on Tom's side, is not guaranteed to be working, but it is the stuff that we're fiddling with at the time. And that there is an intention to use the space on the Tapper GitHub that is specified for Tangerine SDR for releases when we get to release Verilog and C code for and the utilities. So, but we're in the process of getting everybody in the working management team up and running. So if you want to work with Tom, the recommended method is clone the repository, make your changes, and if you have something that Tom would want to see, ask him to do a pull request.
Yeah, actually, the person wanting to do the change makes the pull request.
Yes.
And that'll send me a message and an email outlining what that change is, and then I can go look at it in Meld and see what the proposed change is. Assuming, of course, I have internet, which I don't.
Yes. Well, we're hoping you'll get back in sync.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, last time I was out 3 weeks and back for 11 days. I hope I'm not out 3 weeks again.
Yes.
Yep, thanks.
So-
I wanted to start being able to at least look at the code, and I'm also phoning up on Verilog, being a VHDL person myself.
Yeah, so you will need to run CentOS 7 and then install Quartus 20.1. I think I have that on the README page
Yes.
on GitHub. So
Which
there should
version
be,
of Quartus?
20.1.
20.1. Very good.
And the main reason for the particular operating system is for the model sim software to work.
Yeah, I'm doing it on Ubuntu. There's a document on TangerineSDR.com of all the tweaks and modifications you have to make to Ubuntu to get it to work. Except Model Sim doesn't work.
Yes.
Are we all going to want to be on Ubuntu, or can some of us work on the Windows version?
Windows version will not work.
Yes, it
It is
won't.
broken. It is broken. It cannot synthesize the DDR3 RAM controller. Well, Windows is completely broken.
That's important. So which version of Ubuntu then?
It's
are you
on
using?
the.
I'll read the README.
Yeah, I recommend CentOS 7, which is the shadow copy of Red Hat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's not Ubuntu. That's Red Hat.
Oh,
But
right. The problem is there's a lot of library issues, and I was able to mess around and get everything but Model Sim to work on Ubuntu.
yes,
Model Sim won't work.
and I have had the same experience as Tom on Ubuntu. But Chong was working on CentOS 7, And he was able to get everything working.
You mean Kwong?
Kong, sorry.
Yeah, Kwong. Yeah, he's got it all up and running, including Model Sim. And he gave me all the tweaks you have to do to CentOS to get Model Sim to work.
Mhm.
And I did build one of those machines on one of my older machines.
Okay. Yeah, I will
So-
install it and build it, but without internet, it can't do that.
Yep. So we're making progress.
Yeah,
You know.
we can flip a relay and toggle an LED. That's the entire completion of the project today.
Yes.
Okay, back to the group.
Well, that's fine. Oh, we have Jules, K2, KGJ is shown up.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Nothing new to report this week, except cataract surgery last Tuesday. Recovering from that well, and back to net.
Hyomin Kim had a question for you about the paper. Hyomin, are you still there? No, he's. Anyway.
Sorry, did you say Dylan? Wrong.
No, Hyomin Kim.
Sorry.
So
Shall I email him?
Yeah, just email him.
Yep. will do.
So is Jonathan Rizzo there? He's the only one we haven't heard from. Okay. So we're open for general discussion.
I want to say hello to Dave, KE8QEP, to see him back. Good to see him back in.
Well, thanks, Jules. And I have an email to reply to.
Okay, very good. Yeah, Dave, Dave Larson.
Yes.
Dave is interested in getting us at least one, I think, a set of the new boards. Do you have the ordering information for that?
I don't know if it's come up on the website yet. I have to look.
Oh, yeah, if the new boards are available, I'll certainly, I'm happy to buy one.
Well, they're being shipped to Bruce in Alabama, but we don't have the complete instruction set to include. And I don't know if we have all the piping set up, and then Bruce has to set up the web page for it. So it's in the very near term, but and what we're doing is trying to make sure that at the point they sell, there's enough instructions that you don't have to be like one of us figuring it out. You could follow the instructions and get the thing working.
Yeah, and Dave,
So-
Dave, you've already got one in the ground, so mounting is not a big deal. But for somebody that's never done this before, a complete set of instructions, including how to use the boards, what kind of pipe mount to use, how to fix it in the pipe, the connector, all of those things have to be crystal clear to somebody who's buying it for the first time and hasn't done it before.
Right, that reminds me, I got one of the new mag kits. It did not come with a drilled pipe cap.
Yes.
Okay, yet that you have to order separately, I believe. Bruce has 50 of those.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if he's even priced them yet.
Yeah. And I was thinking Bruce was out of town for a little bit here in October and November. So
Well, I can probably drill it myself, but just.
Yeah.
Thought I'd ask.
I mean, I can do all the drilling, and I've already, since I already destroyed one, I have some experience on what not to do. I hopefully not destroy another one, but
Yes.
I have some more plans to keep that from happening again. But I also, you know, if the kit's available, I'm certainly more than willing to try to go through the instructions. And although I don't need a tube and all that, if they're available, I can go through the instructions as you know, I'm probably not as technical as a lot of you folks, but you know, I have access to drills and things like that. But I could sort of proofread the directions and you know, try to correct them. But I would like to get a new one in the ground, and I have one of the old boards that I can modify, but it would just make more sense to put in one of the next generation boards if they're available.
Well, Dave, is your tube still in good shape? Can you still use the old tube?
Well, I can make a new one. I have some of the parts.
Okay.
But I mean, that's just PVC, and I live in an old house. I'm always buying PVC. So it's yeah, I mean I can get the tube together rather quickly.
Yeah, the only real change is the in that T section at the top, the cap or the plug, I should say, that fits in the horizontal opening of the T, which accepts the connector, the waterproof connector. That's the only change, and the only real change is we're drilling that plug spigot out to 1 1/16 of an inch, which is the VB11 step drill from Lennox, and then the waterproof connector just gets epoxied into that. It's just a little, but you could epoxy the connector in, and then that's it. And that's the only real change.
Okay, yeah, and that's easy to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the status of the instruction sheets are. I would assume Hillman, Jules, or Scotty.
Yeah, I'm still working on specifically the pipe. In other words, how we're going to mount the board and the pipe, and then the example of how do you epoxy the unit, the connector into that plug spigot. And with those two things, anybody should be able to put it together.
Okay. Well, if you want to use Dave as a guinea pig for reading your document,
sure.
Send it
mostly
one.
pictorial.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and what did it take me to explain step by step by step 3 or 4 pictures and give an you know, exactly
Yes.
here's what you do, period, end of
Yes.
sentence.
So, any other comments?
Anybody have trick-or-treaters tonight?
Well, I'm sure we will. On the West Coast here, it's sun just set.
Aha, okay. Yeah, we've had our crew go through here already.
I never get any in the boonies.
Same here.
You know, Jules, it's an interesting thing in New Jersey, and this may have been somewhat based on time, but you know, you went trick-or-treating at Halloween when it sort of began getting dark. But here in Ohio, it's now they have a separate day And so I think people went trick or treating this Saturday, you know, sort of late afternoon. It's, although people in the Midwest, I think Ohio's in the Midwest, take Halloween very seriously, and they have more decorations. They still haven't figured out that you're actually supposed to go trick or treating on Halloween when it sort of begins to get dark.
Yeah.
But that's, I think that's just, I still haven't gotten over that here in the Midwest. But, you know, I'm a Jersey boy.
Well, of course, they moved daylight savings time, so it would be light during trick or treat, which is like, no, wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember as a kid, you'd wait, you know, I'd ask my parents, is it dark enough to go out yet? Is it dark enough to go out yet? And they're like, no, it needs to be a little bit darker. It didn't matter what, you know, the time was. It was just, you were supposed to go out when it was beginning to get a little bit dark.
Yeah.
But, you know, here in Ohio, it's, you know, Saturday at 3 p.m. or something. And
Yeah, here the towns really get into it. You know, the thing is, if you're, you know, live out in the boonies like me, and you got kids, you go into the town and then do your trick or treating.
Yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah.
way it's gotten to be here. And also some of the towns actually sponsor events in the local firehouse or whatever, but there's dunking for apples and things of that sort as well. Besides a standard, you know, visit door to door trick or treat.
Yeah.
Well,
Couple
you know,
of-
originally I lived in the suburbs of New York on Long Island, and we would do some things where we took the scary part of Halloween very seriously, and we did things that it would scare the kids so bad they would swear off ever going trick or treating again.
Yes.
And then after dark, there are the, you know, especially in New Jersey, okay, there are the rowdies who like to throw eggs and such. So, but then when it's after dark, you don't see them as easily, and they can kind of get away with it most of the time, except when you're waiting for them.
A couple of friends up in Southwest Utah put on quite a light show. And they have anywhere between 70 and 100 and plus vehicles go through a night for several nights right around Halloween. But it has to be pretty dark for everybody to see all the displays they put up. They really go overboard.
To some, Halloween is the new Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a rush between taking down all of those displays and putting up all the Christmas displays.
Right.
And it's a real challenge, I understand. And of course, the at the end of their show a couple of nights ago, one of the computers totally quit, so they had to fix that. What fun.
Well, if there's, I mean, we're just kind of generally chatting, but we could go ahead and end the recording and call it a day.
Yeah, I have to move on here and get some other things done tonight, so it's probably a good time for me to take off. I'll email him and see what the situation is there.
Okay.
Yeah, he was wondering about the paper, Jules.
Right, okay. Yeah, I've got some more information for it, but I haven't sent it to him yet.
Yep.
Well, very good. Nice to see you all, and
Likewise.
hope that you have a nice evening. Or maybe your evening's already over.
Happy Halloween.
Yep.
73.
73, everyone.
73, everybody.
Bye-bye.